Their past is similar. Found in the forest after their mother has been killed, sold or bred in the neighborhoods of restaurants, they all lived a life of misery. Closed in cages and condemned without guilt, badly fed, most of the time left to linger around, without water in the heat, in contact only with the iron of their cages and the permanently damp concrete, splashed with water in summer for the tourists' delight. This is the life of most captivity bears in Romania. Tradition, cruelty, ignorance, all together, or else how could anyone imagine that the sight of such an animal who has to bear humiliation and suffering can represent an attraction? Christy and Lydia are my first bear friends. I promised to them, as well as I did to Maya, that one day they will be free again. It's 7 longer years since. Unfortunately for Maya, it is too late. She died in my arms, and all our efforts to save her were in vain. She refused to go on living. She mutilated herself, eating her paws because of so many years of captivity. This film is dedicated to her. Taming an animal is against the nature. How much suffering, privation and humiliation had Murat to endure in order to become a circus clown? How can anybody consider an instructive show a wild animal ridiculously dressed, obliged to listen, fearing the tamer's whip? At the age of 5, Mura refused to perform anymore. Then, her life changed. Due to the manager of the state circus in Bucharest, we could take this bear in the sanctuary, but she was already deeply affected by the years of constant taming. After almost 1 year, Mura is still shaking at the sight of people for fear she might have to endure other suffering. When we first met, I went close to the cage and I gave her a candy. I saw her set eyes and I promised to her that nobody will laugh again of her anymore, and she will never have to play the clown or ride the bicycle for a piece of bread. But how many bears end their life in an awful cage, forgotten by everybody, even by the tamer who used to bring them food rests from time to time. The 2 small baby bears would have ended the same way. Now they play around when the owner of the improvised mini zoo wants to entertain his visitors. Their mother was killed, and instead of learning the laws of nature in order to be prepared to face the woods, they come close to human beings without knowing that they are the most dangerous plunderers. In 6 months' time they would have been caged and offered a bared horizon, the same as for the other prisoner animals. They are in the sanctuary now, and they have been taken away with the support of the National Environment Guards, together with another bear, an older prisoner of this sordid zoo. Why should we condemn our bears to prison? The only show that should be admired is the miracle of the nature, of the animals who live free in their natural environment, following their unchanged ancestral laws and their instincts. For bears like them, as for many others who live in similar conditions, WESPA has financed a generous project named Freedom for the Bears. In August 2005, the association Millions of Friends and the town of Zărnești became partners in the daring adventure of releasing the captive bears in Romania. The work on the reservation started on the 1st of September 2005, and we carried an irrespective of season. hectares of forest have been fenced. 3,000 wood posts were used, followed by 1,500 cubic meters ground were dug out. 150 trucks of gravel were brought to fight the mud. 1,500 meters of electrified fence was installed for the first large enclosure with 15 kilometers electric wires and hundreds hours of work and abnegation. And all our efforts were compensated on the day when the team rejoiced at watching the bears coming back to the forest that some of them had never seen before. We did fear that they would not know what to do with their freedom, but fortunately, nature is considering its orderly rights. Due to the reservation in Zănești, the captive bears in Romania will benefit from now of an oasis of peace and quietness where they can spend the rest of their lives in the natural environment, far away from spotlights and dirty cages. We are left to hope that they will succeed to forget their suffering that human being provided to them, and more than all, that they will be able to forgive us. If you like our bears, please respect them. They don't need human selfish love. Don't feed them in the sanctuary or in the forest or at the garbage bins or nearby restaurants. They only need freedom. Protect them so they can live free.